Hey yo, what up? It's your boy Face from Flight School TV. I'm down here with my man's Mace. What up?
What up, big dog?
What's going on, dog?
Chillin'.
You know, Richboy Cartel. I've been seeing this brand like all over Chicago for a while now.
Every day I get some money, every day we blowing gas, every day we in the mall, every day we blowing cash. I do this every day. Every day I do this shit. It's just an ordinary day. Every day I get some money, every day we blowing gas, every day we in the mall, every day we blowing cash. I do this every day. Every day I do this shit. It's just an ordinary day.
So you basically was like this real estate thing is more prosperous,
Right.
and you seen way more of a profit doing the real estate thing than the t-shirt store.
And a quicker turnover too.
Yeah, so you was like basically like, man, forget this
Yeah,
stuff.
because it really
I'm gonna do
wasn't.
this.
It really wasn't my passion. You know,
Right.
it wasn't something that I
You
was.
approached it from
Right.
the hustler aspect.
Exactly. It wasn't something that I was waking up every morning, and I tell kids that all the time when I talk to them, like, find something that you love to do. Find something that, like my father-in-law, like, he a doctor, like a real doctor, internal medicine doctor. And he can't believe that he get paid to do what he do. That's how much he love it. So that's what I kind of like try to preach to kids or anybody.
Major message.
Like, find something that you love to do. Find something that when you wake up in the morning, like you blessed, you feeling blessed by God, like that He gave you the opportunity to do this.
Right.
That's what drive me every day. Like what my business is now. Like I love doing what I do.
Right.
So, just the whole real estate thing was like, it was fascinating to me. It was like, man, it was the same thing though. I was taking nothing and turning it into something, like going into single family homes, 2-unit buildings, 3 flats, and like gutting them out. My wife going crazy, like, what are you doing? Why are you gutting everything out? It was just like, I wanted to take everything and make it, mine. Like, it's this the way I want it, which later on in life, she was right. Like, we shouldn't have been doing all that. But it was kind of cool too, because I learned now I could go in a house, I could go in a 2-flat and just look around and be like, yeah, this need this need that, this need, like I know the game, but it cost me. But now we ahead now because we know all that now.
But you also experienced that on the clothing side.
Yeah.
It was certain things you was doing
that
cost you.
Yeah, and it was like it was things like, me, I love the store, don't get me wrong. It was like, it was definitely a cornerstone for the neighborhood, but me being who I was and the store being in my neighborhood, like we had a lot of problems with the police, they would just come in, get to searching people, like it was like crazy. Like my wife pulled up one day, she like, what's going on? It's like 30 police cars outside. It's like, I just got tired of it. I just got tired of it at the end of the day. They didn't run me away or nothing like that, because I'm still in my community right now doing a lot of positive things. I coached Little League baseball in my neighborhood. I threw basketball tournaments, picnics, kids trips. We done did all type of things. So they didn't like run me away from it, but it was just like I got tired of it,
They kind of wore you down.
Yeah, they wore me out, man.
Yeah, so okay, what drove you away from real estate?
The market. When the market crashed. So when the market crashed, like when we jumped in the real estate game, it was kind of like towards the tail end of it. So we was doing all these houses and 2 flats, and the market started crashing. And when you just jumping into something and it's going down, if you ain't got your life jacket or your life vest secured tightly, you're gonna go down with it. And it was like we was just trying so hard to get this money out this last deal that we was doing, this last 2 flat that we was doing, and we kind of got stuck with it, and it kind of like took us down. But that was the blessing for God, because that's what birthed Richboy Cartel.
Okay, so my next question is, okay, we understand the market crash. So what was the thought process at that moment where you did you automatically go like, let me go back to what I'm familiar with.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the t-shirt aspect because I did that before. But this time I'm doing my own way.
Right.
Is that how it happened?
Yeah. So at that time it was like, okay, the market was crashing. This was like 2008. I launched the brand in 2013. So at this time I'm just like, it's a gap, of me just really managing the properties that I still have, collecting my rents. But it was like, okay, this is boring, Right. like you said, it was like, okay, what else do what else do you like to do? What else do you love to do?
Right.
And I'm like, well, telling myself like, well, I know the fashion,
Right.
I know it because I done did it, but I don't want a store.
Right.
I'm like, I'm gonna start a brand. So I launched a brand in 2013, but from 2010 to 2012, I was just building concepts. I was just building concepts, and like right now today, people, every time they see me, they just be like, damn, bro, you just got, I see so many brands with all they do is take their logo or a saying and they just flip it or change the colors. Like, damn, every time you drop something new.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say. Like, it's like with Richboy Cartel, bro. Like, it's never the same thing.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
and it never will
like,
be.
It's like a whole like you might have this like the shirt that you got on.
Right.
But then you might have a whole flip side of that, like the blame it on America with,
right.
with the dead man, with the American flag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you might have something like this, you feel me? Like,
right.
But I noticed that it's always a very big change in your designs that you drop. So, like, what would you? Okay, so you was still managing
the properties.
Couple properties. But that was born, and it took you a little time to figure out the name. I mean, to figure out how to approach developing your brand and starting your brand.
Right.
How did you come up with the name Richboy Cartel?
It's like the name is crazy. Like everybody, like even when I'm out of town and people be like, damn, Richboy Cartel. That's a real nice name. Like like it's a catchy name. Like, it's funny though. The story is actually funny because the name of the brand was gonna be Rich Boy.
Yeah.
But at that time, like the rapper Rich Boy was out, and I ain't really want to conflict the name, the brand with his brand.
And people start thinking it's
that is exactly, which they later did anyway. But so I'm like, I ain't gonna do that then. So I was talking to my lawyer because we was going over the names, and I'm like, search Cartel for me, search the Cartel or whatever. And she was like, oh, it's somebody out in California that got the Cartel already. So, but mind you, at the time that I'm thinking of this name, all this is still going on though. All this is in the works. All these designs is already in the works. Like, I'm working with the graphic artists and everything, like coming up with all the designs. So by the time I come up with the name, I probably had 100 concepts already ready to go. So I'm like, one day I'm just working and I'm like, man, I can't do Rich Boy, I can't do Cartel, I can't do Rich Boy, I can't do Cartel. Like, damn. I'm like, damn, Richboy Cartel. And I'm like, I hit her up like, hey, search Richboy Cartel. And she like, that's a good name. I'm like, yeah, it's real catchy. She like, and she's searching it. She like, well, right now I'm not seeing nothing pop up, but I'm gonna do it because I hit her like late at night. And she like, I'm gonna do an extensive search in the morning. And then she did it and didn't nothing pop up. So I was like, cool, that's gonna be the move right there.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. I love hearing a story like that. So what would you consider like, all right, we got the full understanding of how like you birthed the company and everything, the amount of work that you put into the company and how it came to be. But what would you consider your defining moment, like as far as success, like your first thing the first thing that happened in your Richboy Cartel career, where you was like, that was the moment that kind of like got me, that created the spark. Okay.
So in the it probably was 2 years in, like, so the first time, like, when we started out the trunk. Like, I was just calling all my homies like, hey, look, I got these shirts, man. I didn't care if they wasn't gonna like them or what. I'm like, I got package deals. I know I got a lot of homies that got money. So I'm not trying to hear what you talking about, bro. Like, you went all this Gucci, all this Louis, all this Prada, these people you don't even know, probably will never meet. Like, I got these shirts. Man, what's the name of the shirt? Man, I got a new brand called Richboy Cartel. Damn, Richboy, that sound kind of slick, And my first 5 shirts that I did was all contributed to Chicago. Like, every time I design, it's like, it's a theme behind it. So the first shirts I designed was all Chicago. Like, going back to my store, I had a mural in the store by this artist named Slang. He was like one of the first graffiti artists in Chicago. And he came through the store, and my store was right on 63rd Street.
Right.
63rd and Cottage, like right where the train at. And everybody knows the trains is, you know, that's synonymous to Chicago. Like they go hand to hand. So I had him, I'm like, I want you to come in and do a train for me. So I'm just thinking like basic little train or whatever. Like the dude came in and straight killed the train. Like he had like a rocking train, like he made it look like it was moving. And then, you know, he put the little graffiti on it and all that. So in the midst of me doing my first line of shirts, the train, I brought the train back, but I had him to tag the train with all different neighborhoods in Chicago. So you had your Woodlawn, your Hyde Park, Wicker Park, Garfield Park, you know, Roseland, like he killed it. So like the first 5 shirts I made was either something based off Chicago or something based off the cartel. Like the first shirt I ever designed was a shirt of Pablo Escobar skateboarding on the razor blade. Like probably one of the dopest shirts, like that red shirt right there, one of the dopest shirts you will ever see. So, you know, like going to the stores was second, hand to hand was first. I'm calling all my homies, look, I got these packages right now. You get a $100 package, I'm gonna give you 5 shirts, or you could get a $50 package. I'm gonna give you 2 shirts or whatever. And I'm talking about like, we started, it cost me $3,000. My first run of shirts, I spent 3 G's. I made the 3 G's back in 10 days. So at that point, I knew I had something. So I wanted to start, and I'm talking about like, I got all type of people calling me now. Like this, it done got beyond my homies, like my homies that I don't even, you know, talk to, calling me now. Like, hey man, I seen Big E with this shirt on, man. Let me get this shirt. Woo. I seen Baller with this shirt on, man. Let me get this shirt. So I'm like, it's bubbling now, you know. So
you basically attach your clothing line, your brand to the right people.
Yeah, it's a street brand.
Yeah, and those people, just by them wearing it and giving it exposure, that was almost that was basically like your first moment of success. Like attaching it to those people. And them helping you spread awareness about your brand.
Because those was the guys that was wearing the Louis and the Gucci and all that. So
and the shorties.
So if you see this dude, he fly every day with all these big designer brands on, and then you see him with something on that you can actually afford. It's like, man, you know, what's that? Like that can't be no ball man shirt. That's like, what's that? And you know, and it's Richboy Cartel, and it started bubbling from there.
That's one thing I always do. I always encourage people to spend your money in your neighborhood.
You have to
support your local brand.
You have to,
because a lot of these, it don't make, like one thing that I always tell people, like, why make millionaires into billionaires?
Hey, look,
when you got people out here that you can support, that would appreciate your dollar and still make dope, and you can still look clean. You feel me? Like you can still look. You clean.
Still be fly, man.
You can still be by supporting your local brands. Wherever it is that you live, wherever it is that you watching this from, it's a local brand in your city doing something major.
You gotta support us, man. You have to.
So I definitely, I advocate that in all my interviews. Support your local brands. So, like at this point, like okay, so you put your brand to the right people,
right?
And which was, looking back, was like great strategy tactic. So, like right now, like where do you see Richboy Cartel going to?
So right now it's like I had good early success. Like I can honestly say that. Like when it caught fire, it caught fire so fast that I really couldn't handle it. Like I really couldn't. It was like a wildfire. Like I had to try to get a grip on it, because like I said, I started out with them going to the guys, and then I talked to Diego. My first conversation about my brand was with Dave Jeff. Like I called Dave, man, I need to sit down. We sat down at Hyde Park. Shout out Dave. He gave me that.
Man, shout out
that
Dave Jeff.
He gave me that. He gave me that time out his day. He broke it down to me like, man, do X, Y, Z, ABC. You know, I can't promise you that you're gonna get store shelves. You know, but what you got sound good. You know, just push on it. And I knew Dave. I met Dave when I had my store. Like that's when I met Dave and Corey. Like those was the only two dudes that I knew anything for Chicago fashion. Dave Jeff and Corey Gilkey. That was it.
Yeah, man, and both of them, man.
So-
Like, shout out to Dave Jeff. If you don't know about him, definitely look him up. I did an interview with him. We got a part 2 coming soon. But make sure y'all look up Leaders 1354 and Dave Jeff. They is a critical part of the city. And like Dave Jeff also gave me a lot of advice. Man.
Right.
I salute that man to the utmost.
Yeah.
He's like a big brother.
Yeah, Dave, good dude. Shout out, Pop. But so at this time, I'm like, the streets is bubbling. So I started going. I wanted to go to the stores with it. So I had this one of my homies named Wathel. He kept telling me about this old head. Man, you know Diego, man, he was the man back in the day. Ooh. Yeah, whatever, man. I never heard of this nigga, man. Like, what you trying to go to these stores, man? G, listen to me. This the man you need to talk to. Like, he did all that.
Like
so I
Diego
tell,
from Leaders?
yeah, like so.
Shout out to Diego from Leaders.
So I tell him like, all right, bro, just set a meeting up. So Diego come, and he got this white cat with him named Dan. Look like John B, you know. So we sitting at Hot Pod, you know, talking. And I see Diego, and I'm just like, he got me meeting this old dude, man. Know nothing,
Hey,
man.
if y'all don't know who Diego is, y'all need to look him up. That's Diego Ross. Man.
Yeah,
Like,
Diego is a pioneer.
Look him up.
Like,
and make sure that you understand what he did for the city, because he was a major part of a lot of brands and their growth, whether it was hands-on or just solid advice. He is, to me, like the ultimate brand builder.
like Diego is Diego, for me, Diego is like bigger than Brandon in Chicago, because once I learned his history, he was doing things with billion-dollar industries, like national brand, worldwide brands. Like, I didn't know that.
Making them deals.
Yeah. He brought all that to the city. So at this time, I don't know who he is. And he come in, old dude, sit down, we talking. Then he just get to talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, this dude, cool dude, you know. Then he got Dan right there with him. So he like, let me see some shirts. And then I pulled that Pablo out, and I pulled the Pablo out, and I had another shirt that said Mag Mal Life, but I had the Mag Mal broke down with all the different stores on Oak Street, Michigan State Street.
Right.
And he was just like blown away, like, man, dude, this is totally different right here. He like, you need to push this to the store. So him saying that really pushed me to the stores. And then he had Dan right there with him, you know, white boy Dan. And Dan like, man, bro, I don't know you, but this is hot. Like, they encouraging me, like, push it. So I started pushing it to the stores.
I see you follow that advice, because like I said at the beginning of this interview, I see your brand everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's crazy
so
now.
I see that advice that they gave you early on.
Yeah.
Like, you took heed.
Yeah, so we pushed it to the stores. First store, I can't remember what the first store was. Probably exclusives.
Shout out to Steve, 123 Wild.
Exclusives was probably like one of the first stores. I got a flyer up in here somewhere, man, with all the first stores on it. But I know I had exclusives. Then I met Hen from Shop 147. That's my main man. And it was so funny how I met him, because I was in the shop in Ford City, and I'm thinking all the shop was connected. All the shops. Mind you, I don't know too much about Chicago, you know, the stores and all that. Because once I had my store and really found out like how things work behind the scenes, I kind of like stopped shopping with certain stores. Like, I'm cool, you know, like I know what's going on. So long story short, I you know, go in and the shop in Ford City, and I go in there, you know, cocky talking, like, I'm steady looking for him, but he ain't returning my calls or and he in the store at this time. But the funny part about it, he has nothing to do with this store. Nothing to do with it. Him and the owner of that store they real cool. Right. So he just happened to be in Ford City the day I happened to be in Ford City. Right. So
and you was looking for
him. And that's just all God right there working, because he ain't probably got Shop 147, urban clothes store wise, is probably the biggest store in the Midwest. They got the largest Instagram account, and like they killing it, you know.
No, I definitely been a supporter of that.
It was like I'm here, you here, I'm like, man, I've been trying to get up with you. You got some shirts on you right now? You want to show me right now? I'm like, man, I ain't even got no shirts on
Put you right on the spot.
You ain't ready. But I'm thinking like, these in the early days, you can't catch me with a shirt on me now. Like, no, I don't have no shirts on me. But back in the days, I got shirts in the trunk right now. Hold on, give me 5 minutes. I ran all the way to my car, got back. He put an order in. He told me to come by the shop, and like me and him been jamming ever since then. So now like I do all they stores. They got 4 stores now. I do all they stores. But like the turning point for me was the JB's deal. Like we shopped with them so much. Like I seen GQ and Wisconsin Dells, and like I launched my brand in 2013. I seen him in 2011. And I was telling him that I'm launching a brand. He just kept saying, Mace, bring it to me. Like, I'm gonna look out for you. But at this time, like JB's has no Chicago brands in their stores, not one. And this is probably the largest urban store chain in the Midwest. They probably doing 15 to 20 stores at this time.
I feel like that bring up a major issue that I got with a lot of these stores. I feel like a majority of these stores, like at the very minimum, should carry 1 or 2 Chicago brands. Like if you're gonna be taking money from our city, you're gonna be getting money in our city, at the very least, you should have 1 or 2 Chicago brands in your store.
Okay, so for me being in the industry, like I can speak on that. Like JB's is like it's a chain store, so that's considered a corporate store. You can't just walk in JB's and talk to an owner. You're gonna talk to a manager, you know, and they can't make those decisions. You have to know somebody that can get you to corporate to talk to them. So what I suggest for all up and coming brands that call me, that contact me, I always tell them, like, you got at the time when I came in, I considered it as a 5-base store. If you take your brand to exclusives, Shop 147, Blue Code on Madison, and Rami that had the store on Roosevelt. Can't think of the name of the store off the top of my head. Take your brand to those 4 stores. It was like 4 or 5 stores. If none of them want your brand, go back and revamp.
Yeah,
because they take Chicago brands.
They support Chicago.
Yeah, like Shop 147, you will go in that store and you will see so many different. I done seen them take brands from the city that I felt like, you know, what are y'all doing? You know, like, but it's people out here giving people a chance. Like, you just have to be consistent going to the stores. Like, people call me all the time, like, how you get in so many stores? And it's like, I'm persistent, like, and I'm confident in what I'm doing when I go to the stores. And then you gotta have some type of alternative for them. You know,
because they got to be winning in some type of way.
Because it's like when you go to a store, you got to think about it. All you have to do is sell it to them, and then you done. They stuck with it. They have to sell it. So you are basically a nobody in the store, because you got to think, you got nationwide brands. I don't speak on those brands, because a lot of them is not right. So I'm not giving nobody no shout outs, you know. You ain't a Chicago brand, or, you know, a young hustle, a young dude trying to come up. Like, I'm not those big brands.
Most of them brands ain't made for us.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
they really don't want us in their clothes.
Most of them brands are sitting around watching us. That's what they doing.
Getting drawn.
They watch.
Us.
They watching us.
Then,
like
they
coach.
They
coach vultures at the end of the day.
Story,
like,
perfect example. That's documented. They got movies about it and everything. Like, but that's been going on for a long time. A very long time. So, like, what do you see, like, your brand just being like just nationwide and across the country and a lot of and all the stores. That's what basically where you see Richboy Cartel eventually being.
That's the success behind it right now. You know, it definitely was a struggle to get there, because now we take an annual road trip twice a year, but we got so discouraged early in the game. That's how a lot of these shirts came about. Like, I was having so much success in Chicago, like we was gonna take a Midwest road trip, and it was so funny because we went to Milwaukee and like got shut out, like got completely shut out. Like, we sold out in Chicago. We doubled back and did like 4s across, you know, on every style that we had, meaning, you know, 4 sizes, every color, every size. Like, we're gonna hit the road, and we went to Milwaukee and just got completely shut out. Came home with no stores, and it was like discouraging. It was like we didn't even take the road trip after that. It was just like
you thought you was winning because you was winning at the crib. You tried to get on the road.
Yeah, and it was just like
took that first L.
Man, look, it was sad. Like I'm talking about majority, probably half of this stuff is stuff that we had from that road trip, and that was like in 2014.
And speaking on that, you know, I follow you on social media and all that. You had mentioned that you got a big sale coming up.
Right, yeah.
That's gonna be basically a lot of this merch.
Yeah, that's everything.
Right now.
Pretty much everything that's on these tables right here. All the stuff behind it is still stuff that we shipping out the stores.
Can you elaborate on that sale that you
So the sale is, I think I'm gonna do it the second weekend of August, and it's pretty much gonna be just a give back sale. Probably a lot of items in here gonna be $5. It's nothing is gonna be more than $15, like everything, or unless it's just super exclusive. Like I have a pile of shirts that I got from like China, Pakistan, just people that I was working with, and we would work on concepts. So I have like a whole pile of shirts that nobody has ever even seen before. Right. And just from me, just coming up with ideas, shooting them out, they sending them back, and it's like it's not working. Like, so you gonna find some exclusive stuff like that, some exclusive Richboy Cartel that you won't see nobody else with. But it's just really to get rid of all this stuff.
Right. So where would people find you when that sale happen, and where can they find you at now?
Well, we gonna broadcast it all over social media, and the sale gonna be held here at the office, 1836 West 95th Street. And then as far as getting in contact with us, I just always say go to your local Richboy Cartel dealer, or you can hit us up www.richboycartel.com on the website. All orders free shipping, no matter what the price is, you get a free shipping with it, and that's pretty much it.
What's
for that.
your Instagram handle and all that?
Instagram Richboy at Richboy Cartel. I just started a Facebook. I don't ever go on there. I ain't finna front. I had to do it to link the business account, so it's Richboy Cartel also. So you can pretty much find me on there.
Yeah, man. Again, man, I appreciate your time, man. It's Flight School TV sitting here with Mace, Richboy Cartel. They got a big sale coming up. Make sure y'all tune in, follow them on social media, and get in tune with it. Big sale coming up. Flight School TV.
Huge sale. Help me get rid of all this stuff, people.
And we out, man.
I do this every day.